What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about upgrading modules, dismantling modules, and the various different crafting components that you need in First Descendant. Now, I know it is quite confusing, so I'm just going to break this down in the simplest way possible. Now, we're going to start it out here just with your raw materials. So we're going to start it out with Anais. She's kind of like the upgrading person. You can research everything here, and you can get everything you need from here. So the first things that we're going to go over here is the phase exchangers. The phase exchangers are the raw materials that you need to increase your weapon level on anything that is not yellow. So you have ultimate, which is yellow, and then you have epic, and you have rare, and all the other ones which go below that. Now let's say, for example, I want to upgrade, let's say this, it needs one precision phase exchanger. Now this yellow one and the epic ones need the regular ones, and you need 4 of them. And you always want to make sure that you have your weapon up to date and always try to have it full. Next thing that we're going to go over here is the adjustment control axis. Now this is used to change the special modifiers of your weapon, and I'm going to show you that in a second. And the fine adjustment control axis is the one that's used for the ultimate weapons. So if you go here, we can click weapon readjustment, and you can click on whichever weapon you want. These are the ones that you have equipped. Let's say I want to start tweaking my weapon here. So I'm going to say, okay, great. So this has bonus attack power from Colossi, fire attack, that's good, and Legion of Darkness. Okay, that's not terrible. So let me do this instead. Let me lock just the fire attack. It's going to cost 2 control axes. As you can see, it requires more the more you lock in, right? So as you get better and better traits for every weapon, it's going to cost you more. Now keep in mind the DPS here in the left hand corner, and I'm just going to re-roll this a few times just to show you. Okay, all right, so the chill attack is pretty, so these are pretty good. Let me just lock this because it's epic, and let's roll it again. There you go. I have a better version of chill attack now. And then if I lock this, and it costs me 5, and if I lock this, it costs me 20. So just keep that in mind, and that is how you get better and better gear and weapons. Now it is most definitely going to be RNG, but it really depends on how it is. So for example, the firearm attack percent is probably, I think, the best one by far. And then you have the specific attribute ones. And so for example, on this weapon here, I still need to change out 2 of them. So as you can see here on my ultimate one, it has about 100,000 DPS. However, it has weapon attribute trigger rate and electric attack. So let's just say I want to lock these 2 in because they are really good. And let's just re-roll that. So crit hit rate and crit damage, that's pretty good. And you see it increased it by like 10,000 DPS. Now I can re-roll this until I get better and better ones, right? So for example, these are trash still. Rounds per magazine, that's not terrible, but you see now it cost me 20. You see recoil, kind of whatever, and the DPS went down. But you know, it's just kind of like a gotcha, really. Just keep rolling it and rolling it and rolling it until you get what you want. I could even unlock electric attack. It really depends, but you have that as well. Next, we're going to go over the ion accelerators. So the ion accelerators are used to increase your potential of your reactor. Now obviously the yellow one is going to be used for the ultimate ones, and the regular ones are going to be used for rare and anything below that. Let's just show you that in play. So you're going to go here, you're going to click on reactor enhancement. This is the one that you have equipped right now, and it costs you, let's say, 20, and it's going to increase your skill by that amount. Now you can only increase it twice, just do keep that in mind, but it does give you a little bit of a power boost there. So let's just click on enhance real fast, just because, well, I don't really have anything better right now. And once it is fully upgraded, you cannot upgrade it any further. And just keep in mind that to max level one of the ultimate ones, you do need 15 of them. And that's all of the upgrades for your consumables. Let's get into the modules. The first thing they're going to do is you're going to run over here to this guy in Albion. He's all the way over to your left. His name is Cillion. First things first, you're going to click Dismantle Modules. The reason that you're going to dismantle modules is because you cannot use the same slot and the same gun, so there's really no point in having it, and it's just free materials for you. What you're going to do is you're going to hold shift if you're on keyboard, or whichever button that is on controller. You're going to click dismantle, you're going to dismantle it, great. You're going to get your Kuiper shards. Escape out of that. Next things next is you are going to go ahead and look through your modules here for your individual weapon, and we're going to go over a few things. Now, you can mix and match these however you like. However, the rifling reinforcement is going to be top #1 priority, and you're going to use it on every single gun that you own. Next, you are going to have the reload time modifier. You either have the epic version here or you have the non-epic version, the regular one. Then here I like to put on rounds per magazine. It's just, you know, it enables me to shoot more, faster, better. The non-epic version is right here. Then I like to get into the actual attributes of the attacks. So for example, if I'm against a certain boss that's weak to a certain thing, then I'll go ahead and put that on at that point. Now there are generally 2 of them. So for example, I can put on the superheated gun barrel here, and then I can also put on the fire improvement. So this basically makes my fire attack deal 26% of the damage, but also it increases my fire attack by 20%. So it helps a lot with that as well. However, they do decrease the actual fire rate that you have. Now next, I like to do a little bit of weak point damage. Weak points are just really good, and you can see the changes in real time here as well. As you can see here, I have +8 to weak point damage, and I also have the regular version of it attached as well. So let's just say I want to go ahead and keep this, so I'm going to click on S, and I'm going to save this. I'm then going to talk to this guy here. I'm going to click on weapons, and you can see the 3 weapons here. So I'm going to start up with the top one. So I have 55 out of 80 module capacity, so I can increase quite a bit here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to rounds per magazine, and I'm just going to go ahead and bump that up. You can see after every one, it increases this exponentially, and it also increases the capacity cost. So right now I'm at enhancement 6. Let's just keep it at 6 for a second here. You're going to see it locks in here. Now I have 20 rounds per magazine extra, and I have just 1+ attack modifier. Now it doesn't ever increase the second version from what I've seen. However, maybe it does later on, or maybe there's a way to change it later. Now the only downside to this is that there is no way to actually see the damage of the weapon from this. However, it does give you a preview here of how it is, and you can kind of like extrapolate from that, I guess, kind of more or less what you can do. So for example, let's just say I want to max out the weak point here. You can only max out some of them to 5. It increases by 20%. Not the most efficient if you really look at it here. So this one only increases by 1%. This one increases by 2. This is what, 3 and 4. Okay, fine. So we have that. So sure, let me just use that real quick. I should be doing a lot more damage on weak points. And I'm going to save this here. For example, let's say I really like this gun. So I can go ahead and go here to module settings, increase max up, and you need an energy activator, which is pretty much the exact same thing as the one that I just showed you earlier. You can either grind for it or it's about 20 bucks. From what I remember, you only get like 1 of these in the entire storyline. Maybe you get more in the hard mode later on. I just started that, but we'll see. And what I always like to do is I like to make sure that I always have an extra spot here, and being able to put in fire attack or toxic attack, like whatever the boss is taking extra damage from, I like to go ahead and put that in. Now next, for your actual Descendant module, you also have a max capacity up. It's the same one as before, and you can also prestige your character, and this basically makes everything in half, so that helps you as well. So let's find something here. So as you can see, this costs 6 normally, and it's costing me 3, so I can put it right there. Now whenever you prestige a character, you want to make sure that you are selecting your most useful one. So for example, I would select the R1 here, just to be able to help me out and to make this go down by, 8. So I would have essentially a whole new free slot available. So for example, if I remove this, you can see my max capacity is at 80 right now. If I remove this, my max capacity goes to 70. So you always want to have a melee ability that is maxed out to be able to give you the max capacity possible. Now, from what I've seen, there isn't a way to recategorize these. Maybe there is later on, but I haven't found one yet. So for example, this here shares the same slot as this, because you can see that they're all subcategorized, so I can't use both of these at the same time. So you kind of just got to, see what fits in the slots and try to best increase them. You also have subcategories and non-subcategories. I haven't exactly figured out what the use is or what the stipulations are here. Now, one last thing that you can try out here is you can go ahead and click equip a recommended module. Now, this is really bad, generally speaking. It doesn't really take into account all of your best things, and it kind of just gives you random things. I don't know why. So don't really use that, especially not at the end game. Maybe at the beginning, just to throw things in there without really having to pay attention to it. But later on, you're going to have to pay more and more attention to that, just to, you know, kind of maximize what you are doing. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace out for now.